All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, wherever you are. Welcome to today's little stream. Um, Let me switch the view already so we are good to go. So just checking, YouTube is running, Twitch seems to be running. Let me know if there are any issues or anything you like to know. There is, where do we start? There we start. This is today's topic. We are going to take a look at Red Room Audio's Traveler series, which is, you could argue, the fiddle library one has been waiting for. They released the Traveler series, a Bluegrass fiddle, a Celtic fiddle, and Bodhrán's Celtic or Irish percussion instrument. And I talked to Dickie at the NAMM show, and he was kind enough to provide the whole bundle as a giveaway today. So, as I tend to say already, as per usual, I still consider myself lucky that developers are willing to weigh in there and offer their products as a giveaway for the stream. So without further ado, this is the link to today's raffle or giveaway. So if you want to participate, just leave a comment at this Facebook post, posting that right now. And only one comment, although I realized that the website that I used to choose a comment actually automatically ignores duplicates. So you won't get any more chances by posting twice, but it also doesn't matter, so to say. And yes, leave a comment on this Facebook post if you are interested in winning this library package that we are going to take a look at today. In case you do not win the library, you can head over to the website, which I will be posting as well in a little bit. There we go. And also for you guys on Twitch, there you go. So, and you can obviously also just buy it. It's $89 for the fiddles each and $49 for the Bodhráns, and I think they have a package deal as well. Just click through the page on the website. Closing that for now. I already loaded an empty project. It's actually, it's pretty much a first hands-on. I haven't had much time to play around with it. I just loaded up the fiddle like a few days ago and gave it a little spin, but other than that, I'm as prepared as you will be opening up the library for the first time. So I have no idea what this is going to be today, so let's dive straight in and check it out. Checking if the sound is right. The fiddle sounds surprisingly like a piano. Okay, there we go. And we have sound. Okay. So what do we have here? We have the... let me open that up. Red Room Audio, Bluegrass, Bodhrán's, and Celtic Fiddle. We take a look at each of these, and later on we try to do little track with it. I assume it's going to be something Irish, Celtic inspired, but can't promise anything. We will see where the journey takes us today, right? So, okay, loaded up the Celtic fiddle here. The Celtic, that's the interface. Red Room Audio makes pretty good use of the new wider space that you get with the newer contact versions. So, in your face interface. Very bold. We have a window with the available articulations based on key switches, as you can see down here in the area at C0. We have a bunch of sliders, dynamics, controlled with mod wheel, timbre, not yet assigned to any controller. The width of the instrument, we have a slider for different playing modes. We will take a look at that. Rebow length also not assigned to a slider. Variation refers to some of the articulations. We will take a look at that. And the blue keys are the playable range. Damn. Hey Ram, nice to see you around. Mastering Melodies, hi. Welcome everybody. First, I forgot to Augustine asked, is there a giveaway today? Well, I already talked about that, so take the link to the Facebook post and leave your comment there to see to get your chance of winning. And we already have 9 commenters, so 9 possible winners there. That's going to be interesting later after the stream. Last time we had like 160 comments or something. That was crazy. So, but thanks so much for joining, guys. If you like what we're doing, I think I still never can get it right with the site. So down there, you can hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell button to see when we're online. And now let's just straight in and play this thing and see how it actually sounds like. And then we explore more of the interface while working with it and fiddling around. Ha, pun intended. We have sound. So, mod wheel, as I've said, controls dynamics. That's the first articulation, just straight sustain, and it's monophonic, means you can play legato. So you see that it's kind of switching up and down. By the way, there's nothing applied, no mastering effects, no reverb, nothing. So this is absolutely dry, straight out of the box. Okay, let's dive into the key switches a little bit and see what they actually do. So as I've said, on key switch C0, real sustain. Then we have air sustain. Sounds a little bit more scratchy than the regular sustain. Next one will be staccato. Next one, spiccato. And even the short spiccato articulation is kind of legato. So so you can like play trills, which you can also do on the sustains. So legato is pretty smooth and pretty straight. So the same happens to the spiccato. In mono mode, by the way. So next it goes on with a pizzicato. Shorts are polyphonic. We get to that. There's a slider where you can set the instrument to poly, and then you can. So then it gets polyphonic. And you can also have the mono version. So there's no polyphonic in mono mode. You can learn this to a MIDI controller and adjust to your liking. Next one, F0. Here we have, I think we we were on pizzicato. Triplets, and the triplets are not a continuous key switch, so they only play when you actually hit the key and the note at the same time. So, and when you go back, so when you release the key, it actually returns to your last key switch, which was pizzicato in our case. And Aro, hey Dirk, love your work. I have a question. Thank you so much. I have a question. I'm a beginner and really want to make the type of music you make. What VSTs do you recommend for starters? I will go to that in a bit. Please keep that question in mind. So, with back to the sustain articulation, when you hit the triplet button, key switch. So then we have, on F0, we have hammer on. How do you record your sounds so clear? Cubase won't let me directly record anything, so I use voice meter. I used that before, but now I have the RME Babyface, and there you can route internally the audio via loopback back into any other program like OBS, for example. So I'm using this, but before I used voice meter as well. So that is pretty much the same way it works. So, and then on OBS, maximum audio settings, but it just sounds meh. I might do a tutorial on later on, not live, but on, because I got a bunch of requests how I have my OBS settings and how it's set up. So, might be time to do something on that topic. We'll do that pretty soon, hopefully. That makes me want to write some Tevin music. Yeah, back to topic. So we got the hammer-on articulation, and again, not continuous key switch, but only temporarily. Once you hit it, you get the articulation. Funny, I realized when you play legato that the speaker symbol actually stays on the hammer. There might be a little bug in the GUI there, because it doesn't play hammer anymore. Anyway, because when you keep the key pressed, it would sound like this. So that's not what you want to do. Hammer on, pull off on G0, which is kind of once you hammer on and then you release the second finger, you get this from the top note to the bottom note. So when you play a hammer on, kind of, yeah, you get the idea. Then we have an articulation called waterfall. Okay, now we're in Celtic territory. We might take a look for now at the scale lock. So let's see. So basically you can I am just not sure if this applies to these ornaments as well. So when we say let's have it in F sharp major instead of G major. So that doesn't seem to have an influence. Okay, that only so you can play outside of the range of the scale. So the scale lock does not transfer to the articulations, but later on to the multimode. We will check that out in a little bit. We have the wiggle articulation. That sounds pretty great. Next one, and these articulations are also temporarily. Scrunch is when you kind of an unisono bend on two strings. So, cut is a little bit different because that key switch re-triggers the note you're playing. And you can see I'm hitting the G in the playable range and then I hit the cut on the B0. And the roll is the same, you play that after the initial note is stroke. So basically with a key switch, once you figure out your way around it and learn what they do, you can get really great ornaments and just add-ons to the melodies or wherever you're playing that really gives this instant Celtic or Irish feel. Let's do that again. So, I mean, you can see in the keyboard what I'm hitting here. So once I hit an articulation, so that's great. So let's see. I had the poly mode already, so that's great for the spiccato stuff and things like that. I just realized when you have the poly mode switched on and you hit a key and then you hit a different key, it re-triggers the key that you originally hit. And pretty much for every key, so I'm not really sure that is intended, but well, it's what it's doing right now. So, and then last but not least, we have the double stop intervals. And this is kind of where really the rubber meets the road. And this is actually where the scale lock function is for. So you can that is pretty amazing. And the whole thing works with the key switches as well. So you can do the slides and add-ons. Sorry. That sounds pretty cool, and obviously you can switch the key up here, so you have all 12 keys available. So I want to say I want to do this in A flat, G sharp major, and when I play the same in G, it doesn't work because you actually need to play in A flat now. That's pretty darn amazing. And with the cock wheel down up here, you can actually define what kind of intervals you are going to play, and you have presets as well. So third major, you can also play fifth and fourth. Oh, let's go back to G here. Not interested in playing G sharp all the time. And so let's set this to a different preset. Now we have fifth and fourth. And it works with the shorts as well. That's pretty damn great. Then we got third major. You can also, when we do third minor, I think when I play the G scale, then we should end up in a G minor setting, right? Not really sure how that translates. That sounds strange. What is the actual minor scale there? Back to major. So that's for the interface control. There was a question regarding different velocities of mod wheel. Yeah, it's totally mod wheel controlled. So, yeah, mod wheel there. Which articulations? There are some that have a variation slider. So, for example, for this grunge, you can set, okay, fast and slow, depending on Hi Dirk, do you plan to stream every week now? I won't make any promises there. So let's, and the cool thing is once you figured out your way around the interface, the other one is pretty similar. But before we actually load up the Bluegrass fiddle, let's take a look at the Tact system, which is their articulation manager. I pretty much like it the way it's set up from the get-go, but you can tweak this whole thing to whatever kind of articulation control you prefer and like. So I just realized we have a slur up legato and a fingered legato. Let's check this out. Go back to mono mode here. Okay, that's velocity controlled. So with the velocity very low, you get this slurred legato. So really, I think you can set up what the different volumes would be, or velocities would be, to switch that. Can you do pitch wheel? No. No pitch wheel control there. But since you got like bends and things like that as actual articulations, they're recorded and do not need to be emulated with pitch wheels, so you can do. And that sounds way better than any pitch wheel could do because it's an actual performed articulation. So that's the Tact page. Last but not least, we have an effects page. We got no rec presets here, but okay, that's quite a lot of effects. Let's. And let's get rid of this. The air sustain sounds pretty cool as well. So, and then we had this grunge with a variation of fast and slow. The cut has no variation, and so all these fine ornaments and articulations are what really breathe this life into that kind of instrument. I'm pretty amazed by the actual playability. It has a little bit of a learning curve, so obviously you need to figure out your way around keys, but you can also always just edit it later on in post. We fix it in post as usual. And they could have mapped the sampled bends to the pitch, or is that not possible? I think that is possible, and you can set it up for your own liking. Let's test this actually. So let's say we want to take the, where do we have the hammer, for example. So you can, yeah, you can set this to pitch bend. Yeah, now, so okay, when you move the pitch bend up, and for example for the pull you could say for the pitch bend down, that does not work. And by the way, you can also control the speed for all these articulations, especially for the triplet. That's great. So for the triplet, you can speed it up. So that's cool. So you can obviously adjust these articulations to your host tempo. And I think you can... No, you can't. I would have assumed that you can actually MIDI learn this control via right click. Do we have another speed controller for these articulations? It doesn't look like. So Dicky, if you're watching, or anyone connected with Red Room Audio, this is something that I would love to see, to be able to change the speed knob with a MIDI controller. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can still learn it. Let's see. We say no, you can't drag a MIDI learn function to it. You might be able to assign a host automation. No, that doesn't work as well. Okay, anyway, so right now it looks like you would need to set this up depending on your host tempo and then go with it. So this seems not to be assignable right now, but nevertheless the control is there. So you can slow it down. So, but yeah, as I said, I would prefer to actually control this in my MIDI line and just wiggle the controller that I set up for the speed. And actually you could also learn all these to the same controller, because you will never run the articulation at the same time. So whenever you feel that you need to change the tempo, you can just adjust the MIDI controller. But right now it's not assignable. That was a lot of nerd talk, sorry for that. So, but yeah, as you see, you can adjust the overall control to your liking. So if you feel that you need to put the hammer-ons and pulls on the pitch bend, you can actually do this. Good. Let's jump into the Bluegrass fiddle. Oh, we forgot something. Oh, damn. That's another major feature, actually, because you not only get the playable instrument, but you also get phrases and effects. So some stuff is just not possible to recreate with samples. So some stuff needs to be recorded. Some dirty chops, stomps. Then we have percussive effects. So I think when you throw these in between the performance, you even get more realism in there. Then we have endings. Let's check this out. Which are right now set to G, D, and A. Then we have lyrical improvisations. Instant tavern feel. Yeah, I think this is stuff that would be, even if with all trickery in the articulation management and things like that, but to convincingly emulate something like this. will be pretty hard, I guess. Various improvisations. But if you program your fiddle with a multi-instrument, but then just throw in one of these phrases, you can even more fool the listener. Are these tempos synced? Well, these jigs, there's a tempo slider here, so... So... At least you get a little bit of... Actually, slowing it that way down is great to hear all the different articulations and how this actually could be programmed if you're not familiar with fiddle styles and things like that. So, good to listen to some examples. Yes, they loop. So just one question, do the jigs loop? Yes, they do. So we got rhythms. And a bunch of different rhythms, by the way. Wow, I haven't even looked at these. You can also tune these. I think that might be limited to a certain degree. So doing that, what is this? Tuning in 0.1 tones. The way to, so 3 up. So I would say that maximum we could go is like 2 or 3 semitones to tune it. Otherwise it starts to sound pretty fake. But a great selection of different rhythms, definitely. Do these respond to dynamics? No, these are, I pretty much think these are one-shot samples. Now you just fire these up. So that's going to be fun later on, working with it and actually doing something with it. So So much for the Celtic fiddle. Let's jump into the bluegrass fiddle. And by the way, let me remind all the new watchers and listeners that joined the stream, we actually will be giving away this whole package of libraries. So comment on this Facebook post like all the other 22 guys and girls that have done it before, and I will do a random drawing at the end of the stream and get you in touch with Red Room Audio so you get your whole package there. Thanks to Red Room Audio for providing this. And we have loaded up the Bluegrass fiddle. Not much of a difference in terms of the interface and the GUI. Only that this one is recorded in Kentucky and the other one, I think, in Ireland. Where actually is it recorded? Let me check this. In Dublin, Ireland. Exactly. So, the Bluegrass fiddle. Bam! There we go. So you can do Celtic. I will do a comparison. Let me load the Celtic as well, so that we can actually hear the difference. So come on. This was the Celtic one. Besides the obvious differences in articulations. So the Bluegrass fiddle even has more. And the Bluegrass sounds a little bit more dirty, not so rounded, which I think makes great for country and for the tone. So we take a look at this. We got the real sustains again and the air sustains. Tenuto. Spiccato. But to comment and to be eligible to win means I have to rejoin Facebook, not going there. Well, unfortunately, then I'm sorry. That's the only way we can do it right now. That Pitts nearly sounds like a banjo. Strum pizzicato. I think these eighth notes are cut out of actual repetitions. So here we have, so these are the individual shorts from these recordings, and these are the actual eighth notes. Will be question, do these loop indefinitely? It looks like. Crescendo. Again, with these temporary key switches, once you release them, like with the bend down that I just triggered, it jumps back to the last to the last articulation that actually was selected. So when I release the bend down, it jumps back to crescendo because that was the last key I had. So just one thing to keep in mind. Get a turn and a fall release. So then we have the same articulations. We can do poly for the spiccato and things like that. Maybe that works for the 8th notes as well. Let's check this, or for the 16th. So, the only thing I'm missing here is that they actually could have done triplets, even when they recut the 16th. But triplets will be great. Oh, we have polymod on. That's why we don't have any legato. Rebow, length, and new. Let's play and see what the difference is. I think it's rebow every time you hit a note, and with the rebow length. Yeah, exactly. So rebow new means every new note triggers an actual bow. And rebow length, then it just changes when the bow has come to an end. So legato is always on the bow, and it only changes once you lift the key and re-trigger a new note. So if I would play legato all the time, as you can see right here in the bow direction, there's no change of bow. But when I do like lift the B note and re-trigger the C, and the other way would be the new, then it's a new bow stroke every time I hit a new note. So there's that. And of course we also have the double stop mode again on this one. Let's set the key to F here. So it worked for every articulation. That's pretty cool. So, and then we have another instrument with bluegrass fiddle and phrases. Where I assume, yes, exactly, we have the percussion and sound effect stuff. Unisono bands. Intros. Okay. Country. Quite a bunch of intros, to be precise. Chop rhythms. What I like about these is that these are actually chromatic. So that's cool. I think they're sampled in fifth. And again, you can tempo sync these. Okay, it looks like you need... Maybe when I hit the button. So, let's say 160. That would be me trying to play something on an actual violin. Yay! So, whoa, there's pretty great stuff in there. And last but not least, there is the Bodhrán, I think Bodhrán it's pronounced, which is the Celtic / Irish percussion instrument. So let's check this out. It's part of the bundle that you can win, actually. I love that you can actually see on the GUI where you're hitting. Okay. It looks like that these upper keys are different damping states. I actually loaded up a video, I went onto YouTube because I'll be honest there, I have actually no idea how a Bodhrán is played or how that actually works. So I just got me some basic YouTube video. Let's check this. And see how that actually...
Hello all, this is Matt Bell again, and this is the...
Okay. So
I isolate each of these strokes by themselves. You're going to start the stroke in what I call the set position, which is what you're seeing right now. You don't want the tipper coming to the bottom.
I just want to see how you play it. Come on.
Now you notice we finished the...
Okay, you play up and down.
And from the front, it looks like this. Comfortable with the technique that I use to play jigs most.
Okay, anyway, so if you want to know more about that and how that works, you can actually just look it up on YouTube and find out. By the way, there are much different types. And what I learned so far is that you can change the pitch by the pressure you put on the inside of the drum against the skin. So, and you can actually emulate that. By the way, what you hear they sampled the movement of the hand on the skin. So, but if that's too much for your taste, you can dial it down. So basically, when you hit the skin, okay, only affects. And then you also have the damping button that's not learned yet, so which is pretty much the same as these up here, I guess. So I definitely would need to look into some performances and see how these are actually programmed. By the way, a little hint there, especially with these kind of special instruments, that as a Western musician or any type of musician that is not from Ireland or is a Celt, it would be highly appreciated if you could provide some like MIDI files, basic stuff, how this thing is actually played or how it should sound. That would be cool, just to check it out and how it's done. But yeah, so we need to fiddle around with it, pun intended, on our own and find a way to make it sound. That may not be the original sound as it would be played, but I personally would just treat it as a percussion instrument now and see whatever I can come up with. Although I like the tuning stuff. Guess that's also great for sound design. You can do some pretty cool downloads out of that. So, That's the Bodhrán, and we are going to utilize that. Pretty much for the interface, that's it. All there is to it. We have the Celtic fiddle, the Bluegrass fiddle. They have very distinct sound qualities and are very different, which is good because they are from totally different areas of the world and do totally different styles of music. So country, bluegrass, and Celtic, I wouldn't really necessarily throw them into the same pot, you know. Without further ado, we take a short little break here, and then we are going to make some music with it. Before we actually do so, let me just once more bang in the link to the giveaway. So if you are willing to win this little neat library package of the Celtic, Bluegrass fiddle, and the Bodhrán, then comment on this post that I just linked, and we will draw a random winner. Right now, your chances are 1 to 31. 31 commenters on this post on Facebook. So, other than that, we will take a, I would say, 2-minute break, and I try to be back ASAP. So, see you in a little bit. And there we are again. Cheers, guys and girls. Strange noises coming here. Let's jump to Cubase and dive in. I'm a little bit afraid because I have no idea what I'm going to do today in terms of writing. I mean, it kind of calls for something Celtic, Irish inspired stuff. So let's name this Celtic fiddle. And I pretty much assume what would go better with a Celtic fiddle library than actually sorry for that, Eduardo Tarilonti's Celtic era. So I'm going to see if we find something to complement the fiddle. Definitely we don't use the Bodhráns here. We will use the Red Room Audio ones. But maybe we can start with a soundscape or something. Turn down the volume here. I love this library. Did I say that? Just going to start out with a pad here. I have no idea what tempo we are going to do. I have this little melody since I played so much in G. We stick to that. And actually that's the 3/4. That's a waltz pretty much. So okay, let's go with the waltz. Can't remember ever having done a waltz on the stream or something like that. That feels like. Okay, first, I think I'm going to introduce the melody without any key switching, and I think we do that in post and do something later. So a little slower. Yeah, let's play this very simple for now. Done. Have a nice day. See you next time. Okay, so let's quantize this. And Irish Devon rock to the people. There we go. So I'm still adjusting to this Stream Deck that I just got. Gotta learn it, right? There's a track delay, so we will fix that right away. Sounds like -30 or something. Let's just... Okay, so we got the basic pad going below, and let's first start with recording some modulation and doing a little bit of dynamics. And actually, sorry for that. There we go. We want to merge, and I want to record this and not in mono solo. Okay, so we got a little bit of dynamic going on. Why don't you use some reverb or delay in it? I think it will be good. Will come a little bit later. For now, I just wanted to do the dry sound. Reverb tends to make everything sound good straight away, and I actually want to challenge myself a little bit here to make it sound good without any reverb, and then we add that on top to spice it up. So let's have a look. We have these different articulations. Unfortunately, I need to move them to the side now, but once I do something special, or I'll let you know about it. I just try to... I mean, we could also do an expression map for this whole thing, but right now I stick to the key switches. So first thing, I want to have this slide up. Which is F#0. And actually let's... so I'm doing 32nd notes, and the length I do 16th notes. So that way I make sure when I actually record these something is odd here. Okay, didn't quantize enough. So that way when I have 32nd notes and 16th note length and put the key switch before this note, that way I'm sure that it overlaps and actually triggers with a note. So we start off with a, I think with a basic sustain, which is on C0, or maybe the airy one. Yeah, that sounds nicer. And for this one, I want to have this pull down. which is yeah. Let's see if we do a portato there. And I know that I want to utilize this, what is it called? Waterfall articulation. So. I think we need to push that a little bit back and do the E beforehand. Yeah, that sounds better. And we can do the re-trigger here with a cut. So that's B0. So we re-trigger the last played note. Why did that not work? It should work. That's strange. When I do it manually, it works here, but why not in the context of the playback? Is there something else going on? No. Let's re-trigger the note here. See if that works. I have no idea what's wrong here. When I play manually, maybe let's do this. Doesn't work either. Something is strange in the neighborhood here. Let me record this for a second. Okay, so when I play it, it does it. Okay, that works. Let's see if it changes when I have mod wheel going. No, that is fine. Okay, so it not an issue of that. So why is it not doing this here? Okay, maybe it needs to be done in a certain time frame. Because this works. But when I put it here, that doesn't work. So there seems to be a certain type of time span when it actually repeats. So we could do this. Does it only repeat when the to repeated note is played? Yeah, it stops when the held note. Can I do twice? So bear with me, I just want to figure out how that actually works with repetition. Now it's working. It didn't work before. Strange. Okay, so this is working now. Back to topic. We want to do a slide in here on the do another slide in on this guy. Maybe try the other one, this one. Yeah, that sounds a little bit more aggressive. So we are going to do this. Let's see, all together. Okay. We haven't done the wiggle yet. Let's try the wiggle here. And let's do this. And try the repetition again. Let's try the repetition here as well. Maybe on the C, not on the B0. And do the slide down here. That was on G. And do another slide down. Really slide all the way across the fingerboard. And do the slide up here. Maybe that's not the best idea. Let's do the... slide down. Slide down. Do the wig. Jiggle wig thingy. I don't like that. Repeat this guy. Slide in, slide down. Okay, so we got a little bit of articulations going on. Let's see how that sounds all together. And now actually let's bring in some reverb. So we are going to add, what do we do? Let's go with 7th Heaven stereo actually. Verb. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go with a nice hall sound. 1.8 sounds good. The fiddle is actually green, please. And we send it. There we send it to the reverb. Like, let's say -12. Just don't like the last phrasing here. So we can keep this going for 1 bar. And let's do. How much dB do you take for decay? Please elaborate. What do you mean? Time to remind everyone in first of all, hi to everyone who joined in later. You can actually win this very library we are talking about right now here. Actually 3 libraries in one. So the Celtic fiddle, the Bluegrass fiddle, and the Bodhrán percussion. If you leave a comment on the Facebook post that I have just left in the chat window. So, your chance to win a free copy of the libraries from Red Room Audio. Thanks for their generous gift there. Let's switch the reverb off for now on the Bodhrán and load something up here. I just want to try if I just copy this whole thing over and switch the mode to how do I do that? Is that media assignable? Right now it's mono. Okay, let's learn this to... Have we done CC04? Not assigned, okay. So we can actually just drag this there. Let's CC16, why is that? Okay, let's remove, then we take CC16. Okay, so that is mono. How much dB you take for decay? I mean for all reverb. There is no setting for dB for decay. I just set it to 1.8 second reverb for this one. Might also do 2.6 or something like, if you want to have a big. But I like the sound of the 1.8. Well, actually the Boston Hall. So, okay, let's put this to, let's record the 16 that we did. So should be, whoops, should be here. Didn't I say merge? I did. So we have controller 16 controlling this little slider here. So we are in mono in the first run. And I just want to try how it sounds when we actually do the auto harmonization in this part, in the second run. So that means we turn the slider all the way up. There we go. And actually might be a good idea to set this to the correct key. So we are actually in, this is in C and we want to have it in G, so we need to hit this button, which is there. And let's define this straight from the get-go. We have a G here. So now the harmonization should be in G. So some tweaking needs to be done, so it doesn't work just straight out of the box, so some things need to be looked into, but it sounds pretty amazing. As I said, I would actually take more time and look into the way how Bodhrán is actually played, see if I can find some MIDI files or performance files to see what it makes it sounds cool. And so hello YouTube people, please know that you're viewing on the inferior streaming platform. That's why I'm streaming to both, right? So let's just start here with a basic rhythm. So let's copy this over and Just want to try to move the mod wheel slightly for the pitch effects. Actually, sounds not that bad. Gives a little bit of movement there. Go to 16th and a little bit much on the tuning side, so bring that down. I wanted to use my Stream Deck. It takes a little bit of getting adjusted to it to force myself into using the keys here. But we're getting there. So, dum. This is honestly just trial and error right now, trying to do something a little bit rhythmically without any means whatsoever to what an actual Bodhrán is played like. I just don't know the instrument enough to emulate a decent style of playing there, so I just need to dive into that and figure it out. So I just use it as a plain percussion instrument there. And try to just give it a little bit of variety and that's a little bit too much variety. Maybe check this. Appreciate you sending stuff there, but for the sake of the time being, I just don't want to dive too deep into actually learning about the instruments right now and how the Bodhrán is played and what you can do with it. If you tend to do more, and I will do more later on when I just got some time on my own. For now, I just go with the sake of the impression. Whoa, that was fast. I want to have 8th notes here. Notes here with a shortened one. And I'll just duplicate this. So, done for the first part. Let's tweak a little bit of the harmonized version of the fiddle. That one's better. like the high one here, so I want to repeat this note. MIDI error, MIDI error, panic, panic, panic. There we go. Thanks. It always happens with like script intensive instrument that kind of you get these hangers. Why is it not repeating? It's the same as before. We don't have this repeating note. Something is odd there. So when I'm in this multi-instrument mode, the repeat key actually plays on its own and it keeps going and going. When I go back to mono mode and in harmonize mode, the same repeat key doesn't work the same way as a mono mode, so something is a little bit strange there in the neighborhood. But we can work around this if we just get rid of the repetition keys and do this manually. Okay, let's check this. Okay, getting there. Okay, at least it sounds a little bit more like what we intended to do. let's duplicate the engine track here. And just support the fiddle with a like a flute or whistle, Irish whistle, something like that. So we take the winds, flutes, Irish flute. Let's check this. A little bit softer. Let's see if I can actually recreate the melody that I did there. Okay, let's try something there. Actually, give me the click. 1, 2. That was bad. Why is it too late? Because the... Ah, okay, it's doing it on the 1. Let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Should be enough for the sake of layering a little bit of flute on top. And maybe let's mute the pad here and actually harmonize this more. Alright, we'll figure something out. Something along the lines of that. So, now now we gotta do it a little bit more elaborate. What the little display? This is my brand new Stream Deck that I still gotta adjust to and force myself not to use my keyboard for key switches, but the actual Stream Deck. So I'm still configuring it, but I can see a great future for this to speed up the workflow. So basic key commands are pretty much set to single keys, and you can do folder structures and things like that. So when I click with the mouse, then I can straight jump into edit mode. I can do my quantize settings, and once I am done with it, I can actually also I can zoom and get back to here and zoom the track that I'm working on. Once it's done, I can actually also go bar left, bar right, can activate instruments, deactivate instruments, and things like that. So it's really straightforward. I can show tracks with data between the locators, show all tracks. Later on, I will have for my template, I will have the visibility settings like show high strings, low strings, brass, and all that stuff. Once it's really integrated into my workflow, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. And I just got it 2 days ago, so I still need to figure out my way to force my key switches that I know in and out from the keyboard to go over to the Stream Deck. If you're interested, there's a link to it below the video where you can check it out. It's like $129, I think, or $149. And I can see it really coming in handy. It's actually, that's why it's Stream Deck. It's actually to control software like OBS when you stream. Don't you use your iPad interface anymore? I still use my iPad interface, but mainly for MIDI controls and things like that. But pretty much the stuff that I had on my iPad before, I transferred it now onto the Stream Deck and to use this as a controller. Because I just prefer a little bit, it's a little bit more handy to have it on the left side for me here, and to have actual physical buttons to push, and that you can configure them in any way you want, so you can create your own icons. So when you look at this, if you can see this, you can do your own icons, and you have folder structures, and you can pretty much set up as many folders as you want. And you can do folders within folders, so then you have folderception and do all this kind of crazy stuff. I like it more than the actual iPad itself for controlling Cubase and doing my key switches, key commands. For anything else, my iPad is still my go-to for MIDI controls and things like that. Although I realized that I started to actually use the complete control more than I did before, because actually you have mixer settings and things like that for the complete control. You can jump through the tracks. I have no idea why I don't see any mixer right now. Usually that is in the display here. You have the same mixer that you have in Cubase. Right now it's not there. Although you can see that although I don't see the mixer in my display, you can see that it actually moves the faders for the instruments. So that's another way of speeding up the workflow. Random Studio 2 is done. Exactly. We're good there. Thanks so much for watching. Back to topic. We wanted to do a little bit of harmonization. Okay, let's try this. Keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So let's set this to 8th notes. Cool. We'll have that was a strange note in there. Something is stranger in the string. So let's... No, that's fine. Let's just keep it at that. And as you can see, I've really kept the performance that I actually played in there. Well, oh, okay, that sucks. As you can see, I kept in the performance that I played there, and it sucked. But in context... Maybe let's not go with the sus here. Just plain. I like that. I mean, it's a very short piece that we're doing today, but I just wanted to give it a go with a Celtic feel. Let me look at the questions there. So we had the little studio tour. Raphael, are your PCs in the same room you compose? If so, how do you deal with the noise? I wear headphones. No, to be honest, my new machine is a dedicated damped case. So this is extremely silent, and I don't hear anything from it. My old machine is pretty silent as well, which I now use as a slave and sitting right on my right side, but it's a little bit more noticeable, especially when you record something in the room and you crank the mics all the way up, then you got some background noise, which sucks, but right now I don't have any other room for it. But I have a little room next to the studio here for clothes and all that stuff, so like a walk-in closet, where I actually have my laptop. So when I fire that up for my big template where I need all 3 machines, that one is really freaking loud, and luckily there's a door and I can close it. So when I need that one, that's standing in the other room. So obviously a good idea to have stuff in the other room if it's too loud for the studio. So I hope that helps. Got a Stream Deck a while ago. Good on you. But I haven't gone around to setting up fully for Cubase yet. Not good on you. Go for it. I can see a bright future for this little thingy to speed up the workflow. Okay, what's next? Listening to what we have overall. It's gonna be as I've said, it's gonna be a short piece today. 45 seconds of Celtic goodness, but I just want to give it a spin. Any new template stream on the horizon? There might be. Let's give a little bit of treatment to this little Celtic fiddle guy with EQ. I think it can. Good way, by the way, to detect like certain frequencies that are really popping out. If you happen to have Pro Q2, you hold your mouse over the frequency graph, and then you see these peaks where it's really starting to go overboard. And that way, and then you can just grab this peak and move it down and adjust a little bit. I recently got me the Waves Abbey Road collection, which is pretty cool. There's great stuff in there, and especially some of the EQs, I like them for shelving the high end a little bit. Great stuff. They sound awesome. Listen to this difference, it's amazing. So I just pumped it up 2 dB. Really opens up. And on the Bodhrán, I would say we can do some slight compression to tame the impacts a little bit. So let's go with 4 to 1 is fine. We still want to keep a little bit of the impacts coming through, so I don't go with the ultra fast attack, but take the release down pretty soon. So, and last but not least, let's duplicate this guy and go with some random noises in between to just give the whole performance a little bit more realism. Fret noise, please. So I'm just banging in some random notes there. So, random noises, I try to put them a little bit in the break, so actually when you kind of finished the note from the melody and move to a new position. So actually that may create some noise. So yeah, like this, really. Getting ready for the double stop action. So, no idea that really is that audible, definitely not in the background of a track, but when you do this kind of exposed stuff, it's very, very subtle, but helps a little bit with the realism. Finally, let's duplicate this, and for the second run through we just load another Bodhrán to thicken it up a little bit. So I guess they're all sampled in the way that they have the same key mapping, which should translate to being able to load another one and just have them combine. See if that actually works. So the Bodhrán 5, we put that to the left, and I'm going to duplicate, I'm going to duplicate this again and load another Bodhrán. Let's take the 3 and move it a little bit to the right. So let's see how they sound together. Thickens up the sound a little bit. Last but not least, we do I mean, we are in G. Can't we find an ending? Do we have endings here? Endings! Basically we are on E0 key switch in the beginning here. So let's put this there, E0. And now we can find some ending. Can I actually, yeah, I can adjust the sample start. I mean this round robin, but I have no way to kind of freeze this round robin that I definitely want to use this one. So next time I hit the key, it's this. But I want this. Actually, have this guy running towards the end, and okay, get off. There we go. Not sure if that works, but we have something. Just a short ending note there. I'll make this a little bit softer. That's a little bit too soft. Okay, so let's save this actually, and take another listen to it while I prep everything for the final drawing of tonights to this mornings, this afternoons, wherever you are. Random winner of this library package, kindly sponsored by Red Room Audio, so you can grab the Celtic fiddle, the Bluegrass fiddle, and the Bodhráns. If you leave a comment on the Facebook post that I just posted, chances are very good today. Can we please do that from the beginning? '51 comments so far, so a 1 in 50 chance to win the library today. The libraries, actually. More. What? Oh, damn, we forgot to put the key switch for the actual... I think that was F0. Yeah. Did I mess up the beginnings for the... No, that's fine. And in the end, we have... It kind of didn't save what I did. Oh, maybe that was... Oh, it was G0. There we go. G0, please. There we go. Okay. Big moment. So I hope you all have left your votes or your comments on the Facebook post. We are at 54. So without further ado, let's bring up the random comment picker. Just to make things sure and safe, we are talking about this Facebook post. Come on. So, still loading. Once it's up, you can actually see what we're going to do. Oh, come on. What's up with my internet? Stream looks good. We can keep the music running in the background, very soft and subtle, maybe. Or loud. I like the track, by the way. It's pretty different from what we usually do. There we go. I have no idea why this is taking ages. Facebook is kind of slow today. Okay, there we go. We got 54 commenters, and we take this exact URL of the Facebook post. See, 56. Okay. Now, without further ado, one of you lucky guys out there or girls is going to win this library package, actually. Thanks again to Red Room Audio for their generous gift. If you don't happen to win but still interested in getting the libraries, I post the link here for you, redroomaudio.com. Check it out. Absolutely great stuff. And also to Twitch. Bam. So you got the link. We have everything set up. Random drawing is happening in 3, 2, 1, go. Hope you can see it. Somebody is winning. Altai Ekren. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Congratulations. I hope you're in the stream here. Please get in touch with me via Facebook, or I will do that as well. So I forward you to Dickie of Red Room Audio, and he will take care of you. Thanks so much for listening, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Altai, there you go. Congratulations. That's your win there. And perfect. So we got a winner today. I'm not sure if there will be a stream next week, but there will be other stuff coming. I have a big giveaway to come. You can be very excited about that. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I switch off my mic, and here's the final piece for today. A little Celtic fiddling around, pun intended. Have a good one, guys.